Perfect. My name is Scott Esposito. I'm with the Oracle Construction Engineering Industry Unit. This is 18 years for me. I started actually at Primavera. So it's been great to come to these InfoDay events, get to see a lot of the same people, which is nice. Just to give you guys an idea who we are. So our DNA is from Primavera, right? So the Construction Engineering Unit was founded from the Primavera acquisition where I came from. Just to give you some background on that, so 2006, we were called the Primavera Engineering Global Business Unit, but got rebranded in 2008 for Oracle to focus on specific verticals within the industry. So you can see we have other areas as well within the global industry units. We slowly focus on our program management side of the house for construction engineering, which means we have our own developers, our own tech support, our own help desk, and we've had people who started their careers in Primavera that are still here today. Primavera was founded in 1983 with the evolution of P3 to where we are today with many other different applications in our arsenal. So here to talk about the evolution of technology. I've been in the industry a really long time. People say I don't look like it, but I am over 50 years old, so I've been working in the industry for a while. And I used to use point solutions when I was a field inspector in San Francisco. And that point solution was paper and pencil. I would do my daily reports on that. I would then photocopy that daily for the next day, cross out things, add things, and then log that into Word, Excel, whatever the use case would be. So we had all those basic information down, but the silos of that data just resided on network drives or PCs. Fast forward a little bit, we got to platforms that are now connecting those teams together. So we have software that does amazing jobs nowadays to collect all that information, store it into a central repository. Unfortunately, that data is locked down for a lot of the consuming information that we want to extract out of that, say from an analytical standpoint or for reporting standpoint. So we understood we wanted to solve a problem with that. So what we wanted to do was build a common platform to take all that data and combine it into a platform where we could aggregate that data out and then report on it, and then learn from that as well through AI generation services. So at a core, we can see that part of the Oracle Construction Platform is the likes of starting things from project intake, from capital planning, taking that data, the projects that you're going to let out for active work, doing that in either Unifier or Aconex, two project management systems that we have, scheduling that information, which everyone knows when they say the word Primavera, they instantly think of P6, right? Primavera is a name brand, obviously, but we do a lot more than just scheduling. And we can finally take that through Textura, which is our payment application process between the GCs and the subs. What sits upon that is what we call the lobby. The lobby is a way for everyone to access all their projects in a common instance where they just need to log on one time and be able to find the projects that they need to open up, irregardless of what application that's going to pull up. So if I wanted to look at the schedule for a modernization program at say at an airport, I would click on that. It would give me my options. Where do I want to go today? Well, I want to look at the schedule, or I want to look at all my change orders. So I would log into the application for that. And this gives you the ability to do an application switcher. So if I am in, say, scheduling software, and I want to switch over to my document controls application to look at all the collaboration of the documents, I can do directly from that application. So I'm not trying to log out, log back in, switch applications. I'm able to use what we call the application switcher directly from within the product to switch over from back and forth. This lobby just brings everything together, so you're just going to log into one single instance and be able to access the applications. It's not only our applications, but if there are third-party applications as well. So we will integrate a third-party application if our customer has one. It might be something that they, whether it's a homegrown application that has RESTful service APIs, or it's something else that is critical for their business, then that could become instantly part of the lobby. And that makes everything available, what we call this platform service, right? So this common data environment, which is ISO 19650 certified, basically is going to bring all that data together through notification services, location services. So it's a platform service that will then take all that data and put it in one area. What that sits on is the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. So what makes us unique at Oracle, obviously, is that we have an infrastructure for cloud applications that we host, and we also build and create and maintain our own applications on that infrastructure. So I don't know if everyone heard the word, but it's all Oracle Red behind the scenes, so it's all Oracle technology and stack that you'll see. And that goes around AI as well. Services that we have as part of the platform, and we're actively working on more things like around ChatGPT. So if you want to build a schedule, say as an owner, you want to pull all the specs in, you can query a bunch of questions in there, and the system's going to go through all the specs and build you a high-level schedule, what the timeline's going to look like, so you can effectively look at all the milestone dates that you have written out in those specs as well. And it's just querying a bunch of questions back and forth, and the system's going to build a schedule. I don't think we're at the point where everyone's going to trust whatever AI delivers for us, but it's going to give us a benchmark and a starting point to then go ahead and double check that the work is right. Whether I'm doing that, building a schedule, or just writing on ChatGPT, write my paper for me, right? And you're just going to go back and make sure everything's correct. And what sits above that, where we're going to data mine all that from the common data environment, is our construction intelligence cloud. So we offer a couple of different flavors around that. The first one is going to be more of the analytical side of the house. So everyone probably uses Power BI or some form of other analytical tool. We do as well. The benefit of that is we have direct connections that'll run your ETL, your extract, transformation, and load process automatically, because it's the data that we already have for that. Now the next thing is what we call Advisor. Advisor is our machine learning component within the CIC family. So I'll give you an example around scheduling. So it's going to look at your historical schedules and tell you where you possibly are going to go wrong. So that's what we care about. We care about where we're going to go wrong, typically, when we create a schedule. So this is going to be proactively looking at, based on past historical performance on your schedules, based upon location, weather, workforce, equipment, whatever it might be, it's going to give you notifications of where you need to focus on this schedule in order to make corrective actions. So it's going to constantly just learn off of your schedules. People ask, well, can you seed us a data model? Not really, because you want your data. So we ask, at a minimum 10 schedules, but ideally the more the better to learn from an AI perspective. And the last one is around safety with new metrics. So new metrics is a unique ability to do the same kind of concept as learn from what happened last week and try to fix and mitigate what might happen next week. So it has AI machine learning. So job site photos are taken, whether it's through new metrics or whatever tool that you have, that information gets pushed into metrics in order for the system to say, based upon this historical data that you're providing me, I'm going to provide you a report on Monday to say, these are the areas, the top 10 areas you need to focus on. These are the projects now are ranked and scored differently because these are going to be your problem childs for the next week. So your safety coordinator in the Monday morning when you go to the job site wants to make those things very relevant to this team or her team, that these are the things that they need to focus on for the week. And they're also taking action on that if it's a near miss or a missed opportunity. So it's going to capture all that data. It's not just magically going to make it for you. You have to have the input in there in order for it to properly, give you the right reports. All right, just some plan, build, operate. I mean, it's been Primavera's motto since 1983. We've designed this smart construction platform specifically for the construction and engineering industry. That's what we do as far as our global business unit or industry unit. And it's modular, right? So you don't buy the smart construction platform, it's a part of our applications. So as soon as you own one of our applications, that's available to you and to utilize. So it's, you want to buy a different component or different module as you mature into your processes, that's what you can do from the smart construction platform. And it gives you a common user interface, especially when you think about logging into something. That lobby gives you that common interface. So I'm just going to go and find my project, query it, have it as a bookmark, and that's going to be available at your hands. Scalable, of course. So this is something we're constantly working on with our applications, is to scale these applications. They do sit on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, multi-tenant applications that are scalable on the environments as well. All right, so probably just to wrap up about this connecting the project team and the stakeholders. Given with this, we'll call this environment or common data environment, you notice there's always different stakeholders are involved on your projects, right? The goal for this is to provide the right tool to the right stakeholder. We don't want to oversize something for someone, right? So if you're just interested in data consumption, collaboration versus someone who's focused on cost controls and funding. So those components are the components that will be available for those stakeholders and be able to effectively collaborate around that. And then basically the silos that exist today amongst team members. With the pre-built integrations that we offer with the Smart Construction platform, it's going to connect those teams better. All right. So just to cover some of the AI stuff that I briefly mentioned within the common platform. The first one here is the advisor. So this is what I was talking about, being predictive on your schedules and your analysis. Schedule is just one example. We predict on various other areas within the tool as well, maybe around risk mitigation as another topic. But essentially, the machine's going to learn from past experiences and then, of course, your current projects as well. There's over 100 models that are seeded into this. This is not something that someone goes into like an analytical tool and makes configurations and modifications. It's basically giving you an output of where your concern might be. And it's all drillable as well. So as you drill through, say, a WBS structure and you find an underlying activity, and you can click on that activity and it'll take you right into the scheduling product as well. So it's not just a one-sided interface. You can drill into that activity because you might want to explore what are the predecessor-successor relationships. There's always going to be that human element of that. What do I feel in my gut is the right choice to do versus something output telling me what I should do. So we'll give you the direct link right back to the product itself. Around the advisor with workflow as well, right? So trying to find near misses, areas where we can find predictive workflow problems within the system. Workflow is a simple tool, but it's always complex, right? What we show and what actually gets built at the end of the day is going to be sometimes different because the end user's needs always change. So we want to effectively decide and predict where we might have some pitfalls within our configurations. And then lastly, around that new metrics with the safety, right? To be able to give you those predictive analytical benchmarks on dashboards to give you the hotspots that you need to focus on as well. Not only do you get these dashboards directly in the product, but every single Monday morning, you get we'll call a Monday morning report just to highlight the areas that you need to focus on for the week and try to find reasons why where we can make adjustments on that. And then the actual model will learn from that, right? So if you do find errors all the time and this is your corrective action around it, then the model will learn from that and look for the next problem in the system because someone says this is your problem and you fix it, well, it should not keep being a problem for you because you've mitigated it. So it's going to learn from that when we see those data models. A couple of other things, because I'm going to talk about our lab, and I just want to give you an example of what we've done with Esri, so ArcGIS. I work with a lot of DOTs. Every single DOT has ArcGIS. Not every DOT realizes they can integrate that with our scheduling tool as well. So if you're doing horizontal construction, Esri does a great job taking that traditional Gantt chart and graphically laying it out for you from a point-to-point solution. So if you think about highways, mile markers, you can turn off layers to find out if there's any gas lines that are running underneath that particular segment. We link those to the activities in the schedule. We can even take those down to further smaller manageable tasks within there as well. So in Primavera Cloud scheduling tool, we can take that shorter interval task planning and break down an activity into smaller, consumable, digestible chunks, and that could be part of the Esri dashboard as well. The nice thing about Esri is not only does it have, there's my task, I sort of jumped ahead, but nice thing about Esri with the integration with us is there's the internal component that everyone uses, but then there's the public-facing entity. So everything that from a city wants to project for their customers or their constituents to show what work are we working on, where are we at in progress, right? And that's typically going to be driven from, say, your scheduling tool to show like we are at overall, say, 80% complete on the project, but here are some of the critical areas that we're focusing on. Esri will then take that and look at it more of like, say, from a smart city perspective and blow that up into more of a portfolio view. This view I'm showing you here is taking an activity and through a planning board is breaking that down into smaller manageable chunks. So last plan or LCI methodology approach is taking that activity and breaking it down for people to consume. So for someone from a trades perspective can say, I want to accept this task, work on this task, and then complete that task. then if they don't meet that requirement or finish that task, they have to give a reason for not committing to it. It allows you to dynamically slide that task in and out on that, we'll call it like Outlook calendar view, and we can look at 1 week or 6 weeks out as well as how we're planning. So just basically to illustrate the items that we'd see in a traditional scheduling tool and put that into a geospatial platform. So before I get to the next slide, Nathan, are you in the room? I'm gonna call out a colleague. Oh man, that's cold. Nathan was an integral part of at the lab, so he goes there quite a bit, but this was started right before COVID, and obviously COVID hit, so we've had to put things on pause for a bit, but it was completed a couple years ago. We used to think about 6 or 8 of our technology partners there, all the way down for facial detection if you weren't wearing a mask or a hard hat. The system would flag that and then basically put in an observation node into Unifier to flag that individual, right? Other use cases as well as far as webcams and that could be part of Unifier as well. But yeah, so they actually used our scheduling tool, which was great. It was Pepper Construction out there. Thousands of lab visits that we've had from customers and partners that have been out there. We hold events we let our customers actually use it if they want to bring out their whole entire team and go through a lab experience with them. We think there are probably over 30 to 40 partners that we actively engage with that have integrations with our applications. This is a place where we're not only one of the global industry units, there are several others there, so they'll run through other experiences. So we have a tower experience where you fly a drone over the tower. It'll take spatial recognition, snapshots of stuff and find where there's deficiency on that. So it's through Oracle technology as well, as far as AI learning. So just be able to pick up any deficiencies or errors that might see. Now, I don't want to play again. I don't know if I have to hit the button again or if you can hit it back there, if you don't mind. So give you another example. We have a partner, Reconstruct, that we used at the lab when it was being constructed. And it's essentially just taking your 3D camera that you might have. So anyway, with Reconstruct, it's taking the model that we have or the schedule that we have and overlaying it into the model that was designed for it. And someone with a 3D camera like Instacamera or something else could walk the job site. Basically, you can see them when they're mapping, and the goal here is to do this on a every other day or daily basis, weekly basis, to see the progress on how you're progressing against what the schedule and the model said. So you always plan for something, but what reality, things happen. So what it's going to do is going to be able to give you the ability to see what was planned and what was actual. So by turning on various layers, it's going to be able to. Doesn't like that part, huh? You can skip it if you want that part. I just wanted to show at the end of the lab. Does anyone know where Deerfield, Chicago is? All right, so that's where the lab is. So we built it behind the Texter office, so we acquired Texter many years ago. So on the right-hand side is what the lab looks like today. Left-hand side is what it looked like for, I don't know, about a year or so. So we simply had a job site trailer, and we'd walk our users through some experiences, maybe with virtual goggles, with other safety mechanisms. But essentially, it's just trying to illustrate a job site and what you could use technology for, right? So our goal is to partner with other individuals that have pretty cool technology that we can integrate with our applications to basically make the job site safer at the end of the day. Just a few other things too, right? So we do experiences inside, and then what we call the wet lab is the left-hand side. Massive enclosed infrastructure for the lab, and so when we bring our customers out there, we want to understand what kind of experience you want to go through. We have tons of different experiences. It's just where it's your day. What do you want to experience? What do you want to do? Hey, I use P6. Tell me other things that I can do with P6, right? And so we'll walk you through some experiences around that. We do have 3 locations, just in case you guys are international sometimes, but we do have 3 locations throughout the world. So it's pretty interesting. We started this as the Construction Engineering Global Business Unit, but it got quickly adopted, and they decided to build several other locations around the world as well. Just basically an experience map, what someone's going to walk through the day. I'm already a minute over, and I'm supposed to be on time and on budget from Primavera, but just to give you an example of some of the experiences that you guys could possibly go through. So it can be 1 day, it could be 2 days, depending on everything that you guys want to cover. We actually will bring our partners in and actually showcase off their technology. It's not us just necessarily doing it. We rely on our partners with their technology as well. And that's it. So sorry for going over. Thank you.